Good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter number 1 of history: how, when, and where. Whenever we talk about the history, we always talk about the past because history means the study of past. So, whenever we talk about history, always few questions come in our mind which starts from how, when, and where. So, about this only we are going to talk in this chapter. In this chapter, we will talk about the dates, that how the dates are important for us. So, first of all, we will take this topic: how important are dates. History tells us the story of past. History is about the changes that occur over time. It is about the finding out of how things were in the past and how things have changed in the present. So, if you will read in this topic, which is given over here, so here you will read about the how have we compared the past with the present. Okay, we talk of before and after. Earlier, history was a record of dates. It was limited to some big events and battles. This was because earlier historians generally focused on kings and their lives. When the battles were fought, when was the king born, when was the king got married. So these, for all these things we always need dates. But now historians focus on a number of things besides past rulers and lives, such as lives of common people, their livelihood, how cities and kingdom developed, etc. So they wrote about the year when a king was crowned, the year he married, the year he fought a particular battle, etc. For such events, specific dates were fixed. The dates we select, the dates around which we compare our story of the past, are not important on their own. They become important because we focus on a particular set of events and people associated with them. For instance, the history written by British historians in India, the rule of each governor general was important. If you will see the history which is written by British historians, you will see almost governor generals are about the governor generals is written over there. So it shows that how much the governor generals were important for them. These historians began with the rule of the first governor general, Warren Hastings, and ended with the last viceroy, Lord Mountbatten. Now, next is how do we periodize? We divide history into different periods in order to capture the characteristics of time, its central features as they appear to us. So, the terms through we periodize, that is, demarcate the differences between periods, become important. So, here you will read about the James Mill, who was a Scottish economist and political philosopher. In 1817, he wrote a 3-volume book, A History of British India. In this, he divided Indian history into 3 periods: Hindu, Muslim, and British. According to Mill, all Asian societies were at lower level of civilization than Europe, and only British rules and culture could make Indians civilized. So, according to James Mill, British rule could civilize India. To do this, he felt that it is necessary to introduce European manners, arts, institutions, and laws in India. Even he suggested that the British should conquer all the territories in India to ensure the enlightenment and happiness of the Indian people, for India was not capable of progress without British help. Now, apart from the British classification, historians have divided Indian history into 3 parts, that is, ancient, medieval, and modern. The division also has problems. It is a periodization that is borrowed from the West, where the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity, such as science, reason, democracy, etc. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these all the features of modern period were not visible in India during the British rule. Many historians therefore refer to this period as colonial. So, next is what is colonial. So, first of all, you need to understand the meaning of colonial. Colonial means it was a period which was known as the period when Europeans captured other countries. Okay, so in this subtopic, you will read about that the way the British came to conquer the country and establish their rule. You will see how they established control over the economy and society, collected revenue to meet all their expenses, bought the goods they wanted at low prices, produced crops they needed for export, and you will understand the changes that came about as consequence. You will also come to know about the changes British rule brought about in values and tastes, customs and practices. You will, however, find that all classes and groups did not experience these changes in the same way. That is why the book is called Our Pasts in the Plural. So, in short, I'll summarize this topic. The British established their control over India and made it a colony. Many official records provide information about the events and happenings of these times. Colonization is a term that refers to a process in which one country subjugates another and thus brings political, economic, social, and cultural change.